I'm Leonard Nimoy. Join me for In Search of
an Argument.
Hi, we are really excited to talk to you today. This is Shelly Cummings. I am lucky enough to have my hosts, Peggy, Jim, Gentili, John Heinz,
Hi.
and we have a very special guest with us today, Janine from Downers Grove, who is going to talk to us about a variety of things. And we're really excited that you are all here listening to us today.
Hi, Shelly. Thanks for that great intro.
Yeah, Shelly, thanks.
You are most welcome.
Hi, Shelly. Hi, Peggy. Hi, John.
Not all of our 12 listeners know where Downers Grove is. It's a
Even
suburb of
I know
Chicago.
where Downers Grove is, and I live the farthest away. So there you go.
I wanted to, this is the first time I've ever spoken on a podcast.
Hot damn.
You're
Or
deeply
even barely
honored.
listened to one.
Awesome.
Wow.
You're not listening to one, technically.
Super
I'm
excited to pop your
You know,
cherry.
you could listen to this one when it's published if you wanted to, Janine.
Oh, I cannot wait to hear
Then
my
you would
voice.
be one up on Peggy because Peggy never listens to this podcast. So
It's true, J9. I don't listen to the podcast.
I've tried to find it, but I couldn't.
So you didn't try very hard.
I showed
That
you where they
That was
are.
like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, the University of Chicago is on TV.
Okay, let's focus. So, Janine,
You should probably turn off your TV during this.
we
All right.
we don't want to take too much of your time because we know you have an important engagement after this. So we wanted to hear a little bit about your current life experience because we understand that you have been working on a study related to COVID, and we have been doing several podcasts focusing on our current experiences with the pandemic and how people are coping and the distractions that they have during this period. And given that some of us are heavily focused in research and science and medicine, we all thought it would be interesting to hear a little bit from your perspective of what you are doing in this research project. And then we can talk a little bit more about, see where we go from there.
So basically, the Department of Surgery, which is odd, chose to do this research study, which is collecting plasma from patients who previously had COVID and actually taking that plasma and putting it into critically care patients that were in the ICU. And this study was written, approved, and implemented in about 2.5 weeks.
I know what an ICU is. What's an IACU?
I meant ICU, AICU, like.
I see.
yeah.
I see.
That's impressive.
just for the clarity, though, this is at the University of Chicago we're talking about?
Correct.
Okay.
So
That is
it was-
impressive. The world of research does not move that fast.
No,
Ever.
they have been pushing them through quick. So Dr. Madariaga, actually was on the news. Dr. Donington, who's the chief of thoracic surgery, was on the news.
What's their full names?
Lucia Madariaga and Jessica Donington. And so Lucia's brand new. And so it's pretty impressive. But what she did and how she got so many people engaged, interested, and then to do it, it was pretty impressive. So, but it was also very stressful. Basically, the last 8 weeks, it's been 8-10-hour days, weekends. And so she found patients. She had 10 patients in a weekend that she could have done this to, but she did find 10. So far, all of them are still alive. One of them, I believe, was checked out, which is weird, and then came back in, and she chose to give them more plasma. You had to get EINDs to do this. So every single time she wanted to do this to a patient, she had to call the FDA or email the FDA. They turned around in like 30 minutes, an EIND. And that means when you are putting a experimental drug or blood into somebody, you have to get permission, and it's called an emergency IND. So the true emergency IND is really not what she's doing. A true emergency IND is when you are under the gun and you do it, and basically you sometimes go back and say to the FDA. This was a true emergency. This was the only choice I had during the time that I was in doing the surgery. So we got the 10, and then now we are doing an expanded access protocol with Mayo, and that's going back to the Department of Medicine. And then Dr. Madariaga and I wrote a protocol for just plasma only. So we're actually working on that as we speak. And that is just obtaining plasma, storing it in the blood bank. And we're going to be kind of like the Red Cross, that if people want plasma.
So is the primary objective is to get the plasma to help develop the antibodies for the vaccine?
So it is, they're getting the plasma. Now with this antibodies and these titers, those words I'm not really that familiar with. And then I think the level.
As opposed to losers?
Ba-dum-bum.
So
What's the purpose of this study, I guess, the goal?
the goal is to obtain plasma for storage and obtain blood for future research to try to find a vaccine.
Okay.
I could look on my computer right now and give you the exact explanation of it, but
No, I think that was good. That was in good language everybody could understand.
Well, I'm really curious about something. With Janine, what fascinates me is just the unprecedented nature of the stuff that's happening right now. So like, what's unprecedented? One is the speed at which it's happening. And you guys all you medical professionals seemed to notice that the speed of research is one thing. Is there anything else that's kind of like unprecedentedly inspiring as to what's happening?
I think the amount of people that are calling in and telling us that they want to donate their blood to help others, I think it's pretty impressive. I think we have about 80 to 100 people that are in line to donate blood. So what we're doing tomorrow, actually, I'm going in with my team of coordinators, and they are going to go to the blood bank to kind of go through the process of when a patient comes in, we want to acknowledge that they're there, thank them for being on the research study, kind of showing them where to go and what to do. And then actually, I think tomorrow there's also this plasma, like convalescent plasma team that is on upper, kind of in the chairman president. I mean, it's upper level BSD as a whole. And I think we're all trying to come together because I think we're going to eventually be jockeying for patients.
Biological Sciences Division, that's the umbrella organization over the Department of Medicine and the Department of Surgery. Is that right?
Correct.
So when you say you've got 85 to 100 people in line to give blood, these are people who had COVID who are waiting?
Yes.
Wow. And they've recovered.
Yes.
And so now they want to come into the blood bank at U of C and be a part of this research study?
Absolutely. I know. And I think that I'm finding out and I'm learning that when Shelly mentioned the antibodies, I think that it depends on when you come in. And this is just my absolutely no medical knowledge whatsoever. But what I'm hearing and what I heard on the news this morning is that it seems to depend on when you're done recuperating or getting better, that the level of your antibodies may seem to lessen as time goes on. And this was some medical professional or doctor actually who's been talking about COVID was talking about like he tested positive like all these times. And then he's like, well, maybe my antibodies weren't high enough for them to detect it. I don't know. So like all this stuff and all, it's pretty cool.
What have you learned through this whole process?
That I can say words like tighter and antibody.
But not know what they mean.
and I have to say opposite a loser.
That I have learned over the years, my background is not in medicine. I was, a communications major, but I've learned over the years to figure out which words I need to use so people can think that I know what I'm talking about.
So you're a good faker.
Well, if I can sit here and have conversations with surgeons who do lung transplants, which is Dr. Madariaga, she's like, Janine, I have a lung transplant at noon, so we have to do this before. I'm like, okay. So, and there's just a lot of team efforts. And when people want to do it, everyone can come together and make things happen. So my office and as just a team itself, we just had our weekly group meeting and everyone is just excited to be part of this. And then some of my coordinators were part of the Remdesivir study with Gilead, that drug is now approved for treatment. My team was, Dr. Mullane was the one that ran it, and she's an infectious disease doctor. And my team helped enter data before a data lock to get that data in to see, to then turn into the FDA saying, yes, with the data you provided, we're going to approve this. So they were part of that.
You essentially, and your team, it sounds like, in University of Chicago has kind of been on the cutting edge of this in terms of getting vaccines, antibodies, as well as the treatment.
I was just thinking the same thing, Shelly. I actually watched, it was either CBS Sunday This Morning or a blurb on 60 Minutes last week where they were talking about this woman who had COVID and she got somebody's plasma that had the antibodies and she recovered, and she wants to do the same thing because she feels it saved her life. And they talked about how this is some ancient practice from long ago that people stopped doing. I wish I could remember where I heard this all. But you sound like it's so fascinating because Shelly and Janine and I, for our listeners, are old friends, and we talk on a regular basis. Yeah, I
talk on a regular basis, although a little less.
It's true. But I knew Janine had this job, but I didn't actually know what she was doing. So this is fascinating. I love it.
Yeah. So basically, I was hired to build a research study to support the Department of Surgery with their research. Before we came into COVID, they basically are like, Janine, do what you want, hire as many people as you want, you can have what you want. And now we need more grants so we can pay for the people you have, and you're not going to have a new office. But with that said, so basically, the Department of Medicine had where we all met.
Hey, so Janine, guess what? At my work, where we're doing clinical research for kids with cancer, there's a protocol that we're trying to get through the IRB, and we have been for months. And so when we just inquired to say, hey, what's the holdup? They said, sorry, we're busy with everything COVID.
Yes.
And I'm not even really an academic institution. I guess I kind of am, but.
Yeah, you are. I think you are. Right? Because you're part of MSU, right?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, you're right. We are. But we're no U of
totally
C.
Are. Oh, boy.
I think they're different degrees.
But yes, the IRB, I have to say that university I've been very impressed about how they've gone about just getting things done and being extremely, transparent. And the first week, the big thing I had to do was, not me personally, but to get all the labs closed. Can you imagine how many labs and with the animals and all that stuff? Anyway, so.
What about the process, Janine, did you find frustrating or that you didn't like?
I think the only thing I did not like was that we were all away from each other.
Because you had to do everything remotely?
Yeah. But on the other, so I think it was just the stress of, we forget while we're working that we're also going through the COVID issue. You know what I mean? So it's sometimes you forget. And I tell my team, and I said, if you guys are having a hard time or struggling, you got to let me know, because we were pushed so hard to get stuff done that you kind of had to get that out of your head that there was a pandemic going on. And I think that I struggled for a couple of weeks. But
I noticed that just coming over to see you when I was dropping off the headphones for this, I was like, I could just feel the vibe in the air of your neighborhood and you're walking your dog as you're just not as pandemicked out as I am. I'm holed up and I get really nervous going to the grocery store for 20 minutes, and you're out all the time.
Do you think that's because you have an infant at your house? And
I think it's because I have the option of not going out. My work does not necessitate me going out. That's why it's obvious that you guys who are actually out there working in actual medical places where they're doing things related to this pandemic are in a totally different league from anybody else.
Yeah. I'm not, I think I really don't go anywhere except I do go to work one day every other week, even though this week I'm going in twice. But I just see my parents. So the people I've seen are my mom and my dad. And then Jill and Lisa came over, but we did the 6 feet apart thing. And then, I go to Target and the grocery store maybe once a week, but I think that's it. I don't know. I know Shelly's.
Well, you're socializing more than I am.
Yeah,
I am.
I was going to say you're out
way more than. Yeah, I'm out. I feel it, but I don't feel it because I've done things with Kia. I'm outside with her all the time. We're always walking, or I'm always walking. Okay, my doctor just texted me. 100th donor is donating right now.
Yeah,
so we have 100 plasma donations.
That's crazy. That's amazing.
So
when you're not doing the walking about and the online dating, what are you doing to relieve your mind from the anxieties around COVID?
It's called Xanax.
Oh. And $250 worth of alcohol.
Right. I'm drinking too much. There we go.
Makes me cry.
Yeah.
Peggy has a great story.
That's the classic story about my mom. One at a time makes me cry.
It's my all-time favorite Peg's mom story. It is the best Peg's mom story ever.
What?
My mom said
Peg's mom mailed her some Xanax with a note in it. This is totally illegal and some violation of something, I'm sure.
All
but
kinds of drug
it's a
laws.
hilarious story.
It was wrapped in saran wrap. Like she put 5 Xanax in saran wrap and put it in an envelope. And she said, one at a time, don't take with vodka, makes me cry.
That's good motherly advice.
It is good.
Was this when you were in Uzbekistan, Peg?
No,
Philadelphia?
It was in
I
GR. I was in Chicago.
So
it was
funny.
about heartbreak and whatnot.
So, Janine, the thing that we have always loved about you over the years and continue and will always hope it continues is your openness with your body. And I have so many people that just, I'll mention friends and different parties and things. And my friends will say, now, is Janine the one that talks about her vagina? To try to keep people straight. Peggy has red hair. Janine talks about her vagina. And I'll say, yeah, it is. And they're like, she is a riot. And I don't think very many people have the luxury of being exposed to someone who talks openly about their
Perhaps
vagina.
that was a poor choice of words there, Shell, but
or maybe it was not. Maybe it was an intentional choice of words.
Or exposed? I like both.
No, talk so openly about their vagina.
Oh, openly. There's so many avenues.
exposed. No, I meant exposed.
I wondered, and how do you do it? Like, what makes you, like, how did you come about to be just so free and open and
right?
And then, again, there's no judgment. It's just this.
Yeah, no, that's a great question.
Distinguishing, wonderful characteristic that you have that makes you very memorable.
And all these years that we've been listening to you talk about your vagina, we've never asked, like, when did it start? How did it get that way? Were you raised that way? I know your mom was a
Talk back
midwife.
to you when you talk to it.
I mean, I pretty much look at my vagina every day. I don't know why.
But what are you looking for?
Nothing, I just look at it.
With a mirror?
No, I mean, I'll just look and I'll be like, oh, I need to shave. Or, it has nothing to do with STDs. It has nothing to do with sex. It has nothing to do with that. And it's funny because I knew this was going to be brought up and I was thinking about it. And interestingly enough, my mother never had the talk with me when we were younger with regards to sex or any of that, like ever. So, but I think we can separate the vagina conversation with Joy was extremely open about our bodies in the sense because she was a midwife and she talked about that stuff. But on the other hand, if we think about it on the sex point of it, I never had any direction when it came to that or understood that. But I have no idea when it all started. It is a joke now because everyone's like, oh, it took you 5 minutes to say vagina. And a lot of the times I do it to get a rise out of people and or just to be goofy.
Again, possibly not the best choice of words. But,
No, that would-
Jim is just
if-
like the double entendre, like meter.
But I don't know, you guys. I mean, it's
Do you
just
remember
who
how
I am,
old you
and-
were when it started? When you started
no.
introducing that word regularly into your conversations?
No, I probably could ask Lisa and Jill. They would know because.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask just
Sure.
a factual question? How long, Janine, have you known Peggy and Shelly?
Well,
And have
I've
you
been
ever
with
seen their
I
vaginas?
wasn't trying to stump anyone. We can do an approximation. Is there
I did look at
20
Shelly's
years?
vagina by mistake one day
was
when
an
we were
accident. She was
not
just
my
down there.
question.
by mistake.
I was not
fell, and
asking
there
that
it was.
question. I just want to be clear. I just meant, how long have you guys known each other? Like approximately 25 years?
I don't know, maybe 16 years.
16 years. And Shelly and Peg, has this been going on as long as you have known her?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So at least.
But I think the more we've gotten to know her, the more. So like, not the first time we ever met her, but probably that dinner at that place where Janine
Oh,
thought
that
we were
Adobe
mean.
Grill. Adobe Grill.
Adobe Grill. Yeah, you probably talked about it there.
So you remember the name of the place where you had the dinner?
I remember sitting at the table. I
Uh-huh.
remember sitting at the table. Yeah, that was interesting.
John would
Yeah.
chime in here, but John has already stated he doesn't like to look back. He only likes to look forward.
Well, I wasn't
John's-
at that dinner.
You might have been.
I thought you were.
Oh,
You're
I
like-
was?
Yeah, you were.
But John was so looking forward that
remember.
he didn't remember.
I mean,
so.
I got to be honest. I do. But, and I mean,
There were a lot of
I don't
dinners.
remember that.
Well,
Right.
John, the only reason why I remember that and why it because I don't remember much. I mean, when Lisa asked me stuff, she's like, I don't know why I'm asking you that question because I know you don't remember or you weren't listening, which is true.
Also true of
Because I
John,
was-
by the way. But that's another.
But I
Yep.
think it's the dynamic or the experience I had that night with that group was one of the first experiences I had with this honesty and openness and
Yeah.
directness that I've ever experienced. And I think the interesting part is I think me and Shelly and Peggy have molded or changed slightly to them seeing my point of view and me seeing theirs. But it all has to do with
Point of
me,
view about what?
meaning,
Everything.
they kind of knew, they're like, Janine, this is how we talk, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's fucked up, blah, blah, blah. And over the years, we've kind of changed a little bit, but the part that changed was me and how I felt about myself and my insecurities and so on. So the funny thing is they're probably still the exact same way or do the exact same things, but I don't see it as I did 15 years ago because I think it's just who I am now and I don't give a shit. And so I think I gave
I
a
don't
shit.
think so. I think in that environment, we could be a little bit more harsh or direct because that's what everybody was doing. But I don't know. I don't want to speak for Shelly, but maybe I can just say that about myself.
I think also, the friends that you had, and you still have, Janine, your relationship with those people was different. You grew up with them,
Oh
you
my
were in high
God,
school, and then you met us as
Yes.
an adults, and we're
Yes.
kind of more fully shaped. And it was
Yes.
a friendship click that we already had, and all of that I think plays into the dynamics that you have with your different folks.
So what's it like
Um,
having that as your brand?
Yeah, I was just going to ask that.
Who's what vagina?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that this all goes along with, when something just popped in my head when we were talking about it, about my openness and that kind of feeling when I'm with my friends' husbands and how they act towards me because they think they can. So I've kind of like readjusted certain ways in what I say and do depending on the group I'm in.
What does that mean? How do they do? What do they do?
It's just the way they think that they can joke around with me and it's not offensive or inappropriate. when
Yeah, I get
it's
that.
like all husbands of which I've all known for 20 some years, have this thing that they think that because I am who I am and I say certain things that they can push the line.
So they push the line more with you because
Yes.
of the way that you talk versus pushing the line with another female friend of their wife.
Oh, absolutely. So I was kind of like the token Janine. And finally one year I was just like, guys, can I say the F word?
Sure.
Oh, well, I actually
we can't say last names,
out.
but we can say fuck.
Okay.
It would be awkward if your last name was fuck, but since it's not,
it should be. I should legally change it to vagina. I just like the word vagina.
You should. I'll pay the fee that it costs.
It occurred to me today, this is totally off the topic, but that Joe Biden should legally change his last name to not Trump and just be on the ballot in November as not Trump.
So, Janine,
my gosh.
Your mom was talked openly because she's in the medical profession, but didn't talk to you about sex. So my parents, until we were a certain age, walked around in their bedroom with their door open, naked, and not worrying about us seeing them. And at a certain age that stopped, but yet they never talked about bodies, and I didn't get the sex talk either. But we skinny dipped as a family. We had a pool. We used to go at night,
Oh my gosh.
And it was dark, so you couldn't really see a whole lot. So it was like this sort of openness, sort of not openness. And I wonder, was your mom like that a bit?
No.
When you're talking about looking at your vagina, was she like,
no,
you should look at it?
You should check it out monthly.
My mother never said that. No.
Huh.
My mother told me not to sleep with underwear on at night because it needs to air out at night.
I agree because I do not sleep with underwear on at night.
And that was about the extent of it.
That's something my mom would say. But I think that there's levels of vagina talk. So there's the vagina just because it's funny. And then there's the vagina because I really like my vagina. But when I'm talking about it, I have to get in there to look at my vagina. But I don't get in there.
So do you like your
Can
vagina?
you explain to me, how do you, I'm okay, I can't even get my words around it. When you say, I really like my vagina, what does that?
I don't know, you guys. I've been drinking now. And I
have a vagina, whatever.
I don't like
but
it.
I really like my
really
vagina.
like it. I've got a good vagina. I don't know. I'm just joking now.
That's
why I'm
good.
saying
You should
it.
like it. I mean, I don't really have any feelings about mine one way or the other, but
I am
it's just
neutral.
there.
Well,
It does its
even
thing.
Jill and Lisa, Jill had something going on and she didn't know. And I'm like, what? I'm like, didn't you look? She's like, I'm not like you, Janine, that I look at it all the time. And I don't think she ever has in her life. I'm like, Jill, you've had 4 kids. You didn't look anywhere? Oy, oy, oy.
And you've always looked at yours. This wasn't like a thing that you decided you're bored one day. Okay.
Yeah. But again, you guys, I wish I remember why I started saying it in the first place. And then I think now I just do it because I know it's something that everyone expects. But I think but I don't think about it though. Now that I think about it, it just kind of comes out. I don't know.
It's just part of who you are, your personality.
It is. Right.
Yeah.
And I embrace it.
So you've been a person who is very in tune with your body, as we just are discussing, but more than just your vagina, other parts of your body too. And you go to the doctor for various things. Have you felt any kind of constraint during the COVID lockdown, or do you feel like you've been pretty healthy and you haven't needed to go to the doctor, or has that been a worry? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Everyone knows I go to the doctor a lot.
Nothing wrong with that.
I've had absolutely no worry about going to the doctor or like being paranoid everyone knows I go to the doctor for pretty much everything. I mean, Jill had a broken foot and had a fever and she never went. And I have a little sniffle and I'm like, I need to go to the doctor.
That's great.
I haven't been worried about it, even though, I need yeah, no, I've not worried about it.
Have you had to go?
Have you
gone?
Yeah. Have you needed
I have
to?
not gone to the doctor. No, but I love my doctor. I actually ran into her when I was walking around the neighborhood because she lives around here. And
Maybe this
Tell her
is a
that
good
you're-
test case.
Yeah, it's hysterical because I sent her an email once and was saying, I'm like, I think I have a UTI. I just had sex last night. And I think, and she's like, Janine, I'm cracking up thinking that was my nurse writing a note when in fact it was you saying exactly what happened. So, I am 100%, but again, she's been my doctor for 10 some years, but no, I'm not afraid to say it because it's not something to be afraid to say. I just don't think that, I don't know, who cares?
Amen.
People had
If more
sex.
people just were open about their medical problems and other problems,
Right.
things might get
Right.
solved more quickly.
And I knew I had one. She was right.
Yeah, you're in such great shape. I mean, you prioritize your body. It's good.
Oh, absolutely. How do we get into my body?
Through the vagina.
How do we start talking about? Oh, because of my vagina.
Through the vagina.
Through the vagina.
Always through the
Technically the
vagina.
This is why John and I should remain as quiet as possible in this
Oh my
conversation.
God, it's through the vagina. Oh, yeah, and I think I say it differently than most people. Vagina.
Extra emphasis.
I do. Yes, I'm very particular about. I mean, I know every inch of any part of my body, every inch, and if something's off or wrong, I know there's some. I know. I don't know why. I just know.
That's good, actually.
So if I had a lump, I'd find it because I touch my boobs.
Good.
Well, on
Yeah,
that
it's
note,
really good. It's really good.
Let's touch your boobs. But no, when it comes to just the body, and like all joking aside, I am very particular and I just do pay attention. And I think that that's just who I am. And, yeah.
No, thanks for sharing. Yeah, we appreciate it.
No, it's good.
No.
I actually think it's valuable for people generally. And the older we get, I think it's even better because it's acknowledging kind of that we are bodies. We are our bodies.
Yeah. I mean, I found a lump. I mean, all this stuff. I mean, so there's things that, yeah, I'm just very in tuned and aware. And that's just kind of who I am.
Do you feel like you'd be comfortable if you went to a nude beach to go nude?
No.
Okay.
What?
So
That's funny. Right. No. So then that's the odd thing. People think because I talk that way or do right, because I'm talking this way or doing that. No, I probably wouldn't. But if I was like at somewhere that you can go like topless or something, I'm laying out, I would probably do that. But I don't know if I'm comfortable enough. I don't know. I've never had the opportunity to even say yes or no. So I'm learning to not say no, or I won't do that until I get to that point. So I want to be open to all things. So if I get presented with
kind of, I think it's easier to talk about things than do things sometimes.
to do
right?
it out in public.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Janine, this has been very enlightening and educational, multiple levels.
Yes. I was going to say the same thing. And thank you for joining us. We know you've got some plans this evening.
But before she goes, Peggy.
No, I have time. So if you guys want to talk about
she
other
has
things,
to give us her
I have
recommendation.
like 25 more minutes.
Well, you have no idea how complicated it gets, but
Jim,
you have to give us
I
the
was going to
recommendation.
say that. Why don't you do it, Jim? You introduce the...
I thought you were about to like close the show. That's why.
Well, I was going to start that and then say, and now we go to the part of the show where we give our recommendations.
Okay, so
Good
we'll
transition,
okay.
Peg.
We'll edit
Thank
me
you.
out, and it will sound like you did that, Peg. So why
No,
don't
I
you
don't.
say that?
You don't want to edit you out because the whole thing is an argument. So you should be...
Yeah, you
I
should
don't wanna
argue about transitions. It's
No,
important.
just
Obstinate
so
like
we're
that.
clear about this, John and I had this significant conversation via text about this episode where John and I were going to try to be as quiet as possible. So I have tried to be pretty quiet.
You have been. That's why you need to talk now. But that's dumb. You guys shouldn't plot.
When we do the recommendations, I'm going to go last because I have extra recommendations to make this
Well, there's a
week.
reason why we wanted to be quiet, Jim. I mean, it's just in the era of Me Too.
If we had the same conversation, it would be kind of creepy. That's why.
Well, it wouldn't be creepy. Well, let me just say this.
It would be creepy. Yes.
No, I agree. But let me say this. Being in public and talking in a way about one's body and what one does with one's body in a way that makes other people uncomfortable is something I've been dealing with my whole life. So I know women definitely experience that. Mm-hmm. And that's the only point of commonality I have with vagina. That's it. I got nothing else.
As I said to you yesterday, you were the antipode here to the conversation. All right, Janine, what is your recommendation?
4.
So I did not tell Janine. So Janine will hold
on.
up.
No, I will explain it then so you don't screw it up. At the end of each podcast, we and our guests make a recommendation. It can be a book, it can be a movie, it can be a TV show, or it can be something more general. For example, Peg on our last podcast recommended people either take a nap or work out during the middle of the workday. So it can be something like that, or it can be a book, or it can be a TV show, or it could be a movie, or it could be a podcast, or whatever.
Religion.
John was supposed to, of course, tell you about this in advance so you had time to prepare. So if you would like a few seconds to think about it, we could start with John, since he's the offender who forgot to tell you what to do.
I think that's a good idea because I don't read books, and I wrote on my to-do list for this year to read one.
Okay, it doesn't have to be a book. It can be a movie, it can be a TV show. It could be something just more general life advice. But let's have John go first.
Well, mine's easy. Mine actually is something that Peggy and Shelly introduced me to, which is the app Marco Polo, which is basically Snapchat for old people.
I was going to use that one.
It's basically Snapchat for old people is how I'm going to define.
Even though you didn't use this as a recommendation before, you did talk about it extensively on a recent podcast. So
I know, but that doesn't count because we actually, Janine, just to let you know,
I don't
Jim
think
actually transcribes these recommendations and they are published. So just letting you know, there's a transcript of all the recommendations we've made since we started the podcast.
And again, it's published in the sense that of the 12 people that listen to the podcast, the 3 of them who read our website would have access to it. Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Shelly, Peggy.
I'm going to go, and I'm just going to say I don't have one because since the last time we did...
No. That's not allowed.
That is
the definition of not right.
We just had a podcast, and I haven't read anything. I haven't really watched anything that great. I was going to say Marco Polo and how it's connected me to people, but John took it. So...
Well, Peg... Yeah.
Can I just say Marco Polo also?
No.
Well, we have had people make the same recommendation, but not in the same podcast.
Yeah,
so.
that was literally going to be my recommendation. I mean, I have not finished my book, and it's not that great. I haven't watched any great shows.
Because that way she can't say someone stole a recommendation.
How about that book, Peg? The book that you read that made you all hot.
Yes.
The naughty one? I would not recommend it. No, I wouldn't recommend it. It was bad.
It made you hot. It did the job.
It was a dumb book.
Did the job.
No, because it's not a good book.
What's it called?
I don't know. Lover or Loser or something like that. Was that it?
Peg one time described, I'm reading a novel, but I can't remember the name of it.
That happens a lot. The one I'm reading right now is called Trajectory by Richard Russo, and I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay, that's good. Good that you're discriminating. Shelly, do you also want to recommend Marco Polo while we're on the subject? Can we go for all 3 of you recommending Marco Polo?
No, when John recommended it, I went to my other ideas that I had.
Okay.
So I would recommend anybody, this is going to sound crazy, but just ask for help. And it sounds kind of stupid, but I today had my neighbor in my house helping me do some handyman work stuff that I wanted to do, knew I couldn't do, was going to try to do, but he's retired. He wants to keep active and he knows how to do it right. So I finally reached out and asked for help, and he's done an amazing job. And at the same time that he was here, my sister came over and helped pot my plants because I have a pinched nerve and can't bend over. And
Shelly, is this the guy with the cool model plane?
Yep, Don. Yep.
He was referred to in an earlier podcast.
Yes, my flying adventure
Called
days
Shelly
last
Flies a
summer.
Plane, I believe was the name of the episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So I am one to not ask for help. And it made me realize that I need to do that more
That's
often.
so true. She's like
Ooh,
so
it's so
fiercely
interesting.
independent. Yes, finally.
Ooh. And that's the opposite of Peggy.
Janine, are you ready to give a recommendation?
I know. I was thinking about like I'm obsessed with arugula.
Arugula.
Is it arugula? Is that
As
the
in the-
peppery
as in
taste
the
one?
leafy green.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
so good.
Arugula.
Yeah.
Or
So-
it's also called rocket.
In the UK, it's called
Okay,
rocket.
so all of us, I'm obsessed with sliced tomato, sliced avocado, arugula, olive oil dabbled, and then this spice called sumac. And
Sumac. How's that spelled?
Yeah.
Spice?
SUMAC. Remember you guys, you and Peggy, I told you guys about this sumac spice with the lemon
I do.
dressing.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So
Wow.
it's I guess
It's arugula, what, and sumac? I'm sorry, what is it? You
the
said
one
three things,
person that-
right? Janine?
well, right, but there's two parts here. So the one part is just me just doing tomato, avocado, olive oil, arugula, and sumac or just salt. And then there's a salad that you can do arugula with cabbage and lemon and olive oil and the sumac. So it's a spice. I guess it's not Indian? What?
Well, I started looking it up. It's in East Asia, Africa, and North America. So it looks like just everywhere. So I don't think it's going to be very useful. What does it taste like? Is it salty?
No, I can't explain it. It's something
Tastes like
I
sumac.
can't explain it. It's
All right, I'm trying it.
excellent. It's excellent.
trying
You
it.
just need a
Sumac.
little dabble will do ya, but a little olive oil, lemon, and then just slowly just drizzle it over, and it just has a taste that I've never had before, and it's kind of become my go-to to kind of add something to something. But yeah, I think during this pandemic, I am learning and trying to open up my mind to different things and to cook things different.
And you've been doing a lot of cooking. You've shared,
Yes.
or at least you've shared a lot
I
more
am-
than you have in the past.
Yes, I am doing a lot more cooking, and I've become a zucchini eater. I never liked zucchini, and
Love zucchini.
yeah, so I'm loving the zucchini ribbons.
What's that?
And then I'm in like when you shred the zucchini with a
A vegetable peeler.
thank you. And so you take a vegetable peeler and you just run it right down, and then it makes ribbons. And then you can kind of put that in your pasta or
the
in
outside
your,
of the zucchini or the inside of the zucchini?
keep
The
going.
whole
Just
zucchini.
just the whole
Kind of like
zucchini from
instead
top
of
to-
pasta. It's instead
cool.
of pasta.
But you don't
Or
get
you
the
can do
seeds.
rice.
You stop when you get to the seed part.
right.
Yum.
Yeah, so you can do that, or that zucchini thing that makes pasta. I actually have that in my Amazon box to order. But
And here
yeah,
I thought
so
you were going to
that's-
say you were recommending looking at your vagina.
I
Every day.
do. I will say I do recommend that, and I think it's really important to be in one with your
The
vagina.
JJ. Yeah.
Oh, the veggetti, the vagina, the veggetti spiral vegetable cutter makes veggie pasta, and I love my vagina. Was that a good ending to this?
I love
It was perfect ending. You were
Well,
an awesome
okay.
guest,
except
Janine.
that
Thank
we're
you.
not done because I have to make a bunch
John.
of recommendations.
Yes,
I'm
Jim,
sorry.
sorry.
So to make up for the fact that I haven't talked as much as I normally do, I'm now going to talk for like ever because I have been rereading the book The Great Influenza by John M. Barry, which is the definitive account of the 1918 pandemic. And it's a compelling read, and it was originally published in 2004, and there's a 2018 afterward, and there's obviously a lot of things that can be drawn for that. But it also led me to, in addition to recommending that, a friend of mine had recently asked for some recommendations for nonfiction books. So there's a bunch of nonfiction books, some of which have been mentioned, but some of which haven't been, which I wanted to put as recommendations. So I'm just going to, in addition to the great influence, I'm going to mention them. There's The Emperor of All Maladies, which I've mentioned before, by Siddhartha
book.
Mukherjee, which is basically a history of cancer. Another book that John and I have talked about on the podcast, Pictures at a Revolution by Mark Harris, which is a brilliant account of the movie year 1967, when the new Hollywood and the old Hollywood passed each other in the night. A great book that John and I have talked about many, many times, called Post-War by Tony Jute, which is a history of Europe from after the end of World War II up through the beginning of the 21st century. Case Closed by Gerald Posner, which is the definitive account of the JFK assassination, in which he methodically puts to rest all these inane conspiracy theories that have been advanced by people either through ignorance or venality or both.
About what?
The JFK assassination.
Sorry, I missed the intro.
Okay. Den of Thieves by James Stewart, which is a brilliantly written, almost novelistic account of the 1980s Wall Street scandals involving Michael Milken and Ivan Boesky. And I know that people have some sense of what went on, but if you really want to understand what happened during that decade of greed and what criminal activity was actually going on, that's the book to read, but it reads like a novel. There's a book called Vietnam by Stanley Karnow, which is the definitive account of the Vietnam War. There have been a lot of great books, both fiction and nonfiction, written about the Vietnam War, but this is the definitive account that covers the entirety of the war and even covers the history of Vietnam prior to anybody in the West being involved with it, to give it the proper perspective. There's a book called The Affair by Jean Dennis Breeden, which again is a definitive account, in this time, of the Dreyfus Affair, which a lot of people have heard of Dreyfus. Some people may even know the outlines of the story, but this covers the entire story of what happened. And part of this book, I don't know if John's ever read this book, but the reason John would like this book a lot is that it not only covers the story, but it shows how Dreyfus, the man, and Dreyfus, the case, became a football for political and social and cultural movements that were going on in France at that time. There's another book called Perjury by Alan Weinstein, which is, again, a definitive account, this of the Alger Hiss case. And again, I know some people may think they know that name or hear that name, but it demonstrates that despite what many on the left held for many years to be true, Alger Hiss was, in fact, a spy for the Soviets against the United States. And even though his enemies were bad people like Richard Nixon and so forth, it doesn't mean he was innocent. And finally, I couldn't leave this off the list, one of the great books of all time, And the Band Played On by Randy Shilts. And The Band Played On was published in 1987, was written during the heart of the AIDS crisis, about the AIDS crisis, by Randy Shilts. Randy Shilts was the first openly gay reporter on the San Francisco Chronicle, and possibly, although it's hard to verify this, the first openly gay reporter on any mainstream publication in the United States. And he wrote a book that reports the AIDS crisis virtually as it was happening and holds up very well and is a compelling, powerful, heartbreaking account of the crisis. And of course, Randy Shilts himself tragically died as a result of AIDS several years later. But those are 10 books, 10 nonfiction books I recommend.
I've been asking about And the Band Played On came up last week with a friend. How many, this is a dumb question, how many people have died from COVID compared to AIDS?
More people have died from AIDS. Way more people have died from AIDS.
That's, I mean, like what, like I, like that. We talked last time about comparing like the size of things, but
not at the same, not in with such a speed of, not in such a short period of time.
Yeah.
If that's what your question is.
Yeah, I guess I'm just just trying to put in perspective.
The AIDS virus, like a lot of viruses that are more often to a greater degree fatal than COVID, because we know a lot of people get COVID and don't die from it. The AIDS virus is more difficult to transmit than COVID is, but it's much more deadly. But of course, it's less deadly than it used to be, and that's good news, but still a bad thing.
Are you guys surprised that I was comfortable in this conversation?
Not at all.
I wasn't. I don't know why. Janine, you're comfortable in every conversation I've been in with you.
Peggy, now you should say goodbye.
Okay. Well, thanks, everybody. That's our podcast. See you in a fortnight.
Not even trying, Peg. Not even trying, Peg.
I don't know where
Peg,
you can follow
how about
us.
telling us where they should listen to us and what
I'm
they
not
should
sure
mention
anymore.
one thing as you're doing this, Peg, as you're thinking about this. I today went on Spotify. We're actually on Spotify, and you can tell your smart player, or if you have Spotify, you can say, "Hey Siri," or "Hey Alexa," or "Hey Google," play In Search of an Argument on Spotify, and it'll just start playing the most recent episodes. But on Spotify, we look great. It like lays out the episodes. You guys should look at it because it makes us look so great. But anyway, you should take a look. We're on Spotify, so you can hear us there.
We're on everywhere. We're on Stitcher. We're on Google Play. We're on everywhere.
Podcasts, right? Which is, it's now becoming Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Yeah, everywhere. Stitcher, Overcast.
Well, thank you for asking
everywhere,
me.
and still very few people listen to
love
us.
having you on, Janine. We want you to come back, and we're gonna and we can go in whatever direction you want to go in. Because to be honest, the thing that I'm going to take away from this is that your work is freaking fascinating to me. I'm blown away by what's going on with that with your work. It's really unbelievable.
We from time to time do quiz episodes. So when we do one about parts of the body, we will definitely invite you on to that one.
Parts of the body that begin with a V.
Yeah. Vulva.
That's a limited category there.
Yes, exactly. You'll win every time,
Here,
Janine.
the farm.
The next time, the next time on this podcast, the vulva. What does that mean?
And we'll learn what titers mean next time too.
All right, we're ready to go, right? Goodbye.
All right.
Bye. Bye.